Hello everyone. So in this video we're going to be going through exactly how to start a blog on WordPress. This is going to be a complete comprehensive tutorial taking you right from the basics of not knowing how to actually start or write a blog post through to setting it up in full format. So that's setting up your sitemap, your plugins that you'll need to install, and integrating all of your different softwares with each other so you can have a full formatted website hosting online. So by the end of this video you know exactly how to start a blog, and by following it you'll be able to do exactly just that. Okay, so what we're going to be covering inside of this video is firstly picking a niche. So that's going to be something that's based around your passion. So what it is, and the reason why I've got that note, the next note, which you might find kind of amusing, is basically you're not marrying a niche when you pick it, because so many people, they get stuck at the starting line, and it's really important to simply just get started even if you're picking the wrong niche, because eventually you'll find the right one. So obviously if you were to start a website and it wasn't about something that you, for example, wasn't passionate about, or there wasn't a lot of buyer intent inside of that marketplace, then you could easily just switch it with the skills that you've already accumulated over that time period and apply it to a new niche website. It's not the end of the world if you pick the wrong site or the wrong industry and you decide to change later on. What is the wrong thing is not getting started. So I really want you to focus on something that you're really going to be passionate about and that you'll enjoy, and you'll enjoy writing about, because you're going to have to put in a lot of effort and a lot of work into writing this content. And 30 or 40 pages down the line, you're not really going to be happy if it's something that doesn't interest you. So try and find something that kind of interests you, something that you might have a bit of a skill set in, and something that you would enjoy over the long period of writing about. Okay, so focus purely on that at the beginning, and then focus on the money after, which is why I don't include how you'll be monetizing your site or anything like that inside of this video. Okay, so once we've established that, then the next thing is going to be buying a domain. So we'll go over and buy a domain, and I'll do that firsthand with you. Then we're going to talk about integrating your hosting with your domain. So you're going to be setting up your hosting. So that's actually the actual service that allows you to be on the internet. So for your website to go live so people can actually find it. So that's the first thing. And then we're going to go through installing the essential plugins that you need on your site, because when you start the site, it's really important that you have some good plugins. So this is things like to automatically back up your website and things like that, because you might potentially lose the data. So it's really important that if you lose that, you're able to recuperate it. And I had to learn the hard way by going through all of the failures, which is why I developed this list of essential plugins that you need for starting a website. Then the next thing is going to be setting up your site on the Google Search Console. So what that is basically making your site go live on Google's search engine, so that way people can search for your site and actually find it once you obviously set up your posts in the correct way, which means doing a bit of keyword research. Okay, then the next thing is going to be setting up a sitemap. So this is purely to help Google's Search Console actually understand your website, go through and figure out what your site's about, and just potentially help you really go up in the rankings so you can build some type of authority for yourself and really establish yourself within that marketplace. Then the last one's going to be publishing content. So this is the last of the list that I'll be going through today, and what that will show you is exactly how often you should be posting and how to do that. So you'll see exactly how to actually go onto the back end of a WordPress user interface and how to publish the content as well. So we're going to get straight into it. So I know a lot of people are going to be stuck with picking a niche. So there's an actual Excel spreadsheet here that you can use to refer to see what actual niches are good. Okay, so as you can see from here, there's many different niches. There's a selection of niches just down here, and then here these are the ratings of how seasonal these are and what evergreen niches are. So you can see here obviously that content is good for 5 years plus, and you can see the scoring of each specific niche down here. So there's a list of many different niches. and then you can see how profitable they are for info products. So for evergreen content, what we're talking about here is content that stays green forever, in that sense. Go figure. So what we're talking about is that it continuously is profitable throughout years and years to come, because some products are fads, so they only last for a certain amount of time. Say for example, like an electronic product. So if you were to do a review on, say for example, an Apple iPhone 9 or 10, whatever one we're up to now, you could say that that product would not be popular in 2 years. So it wouldn't be getting the same amount of search volume or buyer intent as it is today, because there'll be many new iPhones by then. But an example of an evergreen niche is something to do with potentially weight loss. So that's something that would apply the same way today as it would in the next 10 years or so, or even 20 years plus. So that's why obviously people go for evergreen niches, depending on obviously what type of mission you have for this specific site that you're starting. Here you've got info products. So these are things like ebooks or electronic learning courses. So you can create your own video course series, and this gives you a score on how good each specific niche will be based on how many buyers there is inside of this specific marketplace. And then these are affiliate potentials of commissions. So obviously how profitable, or how much potential there is with buyer intent for affiliate products within that specific niche. Okay, and then there's a few comments on each of them. So I'm actually going to attach this at the bottom of this video so you can download that in a PDF format. Actually not in PDF, I'll put it in an Excel format for you, so you can download that and you can keep that. Okay, and as I said, inside of this you're just picking something that you're passionate about. So if you can't think of something that you're passionate about, just go to this list and simply pick something on the list that you know that you have a passion in. And all this list is there for is to specifically just trigger that emotion inside of you to say, oh, you know what, I do actually play tennis on the weekends, or I actually go bowling all the time and I'm pretty good out of my friends. Whatever it is, you just need to really take a look on this list. This should spark your interest, and you've got also the data and analytical information to back it up here, so you can see exactly how good. Don't just go for ones that you think are really good and listed as good on this. It's purely just a guideline, so don't take this absolute, and just pick something that you're passionate about. Because honestly, I can say from my personal experience of building my first site, when you get deep in, and the drive sort of starts to, or I should say the motivation starts to leave, it's only discipline that allows you to continue. And when you're just running on discipline, it becomes very difficult when you don't have a passion with what you're doing. So it's really important for you to actually have a passion about this, and that's really going to help you in the long run when you are creating valuable content and valuable services to your audience or marketplace. It will allow you to really solve some problems that people have and add value to that market. So the next thing we're going to do is purchase a domain. So what we're going to be doing is going into my Namecheap account. Now you can use many different accounts for this, like you can use GoDaddy, you can use there's many different other domain selling services, but I specifically use Namecheap. They're really good, they're cheap, and they do the job for me. There was a few benefits of having your domain separate to your hosting. I can't remember exactly what that is, but just going off the top of my head, it would probably make sense, because if your hosting goes down, then you don't want that affecting. You could probably change your hosting then in the long run, if obviously there was a problem with them. If you had your domain with them and everything, it might be a bit more difficult and whatever else. But there are some benefits to it. I didn't really go off it because of that. I just personally done it because the actual person who I learned from, how I learned to build sites a long time ago, showed me in this format. So I've just stuck with it because it works for me. Okay, so what we would want to do is we're going to go to domain name search. So for example, we're just going to go, and this is how you would type it, like example.com. Now we would never get that domain. That would be like super expensive if it pops up. But yeah, what it is, you can see here we can't even get anything near it or example of it, but let's have a look. So test run for blog.com. This will be available. Okay, so we'll just get something nice and cheap. So I would always recommend going for a .com. Okay, so that's going to be like one of the most valuable domain names. Do not make it specific. Like I'm here in the UK, I would not go for a .co.uk. Later on, when you're selling your site and things like that, it will sting you in the bum. So it's much better to just go for something that basically has a .com, and that way it applies to a global audience, so it allows you to get traffic from all over the place. I have heard that .orgs are really good as well for ranking, but unless you're an established organization, then I wouldn't do it because it's false advertisement. So for this test purpose, I'm just going to go for this .run, but like I said, usually you would go for that. I'm just trying to keep it as cheap and cheerful because I'm going to take you through the whole process of purchasing it. Now you're going to get all these options pop up when you sign up to this. I don't go for any of it. You don't even need that. I mean, you could probably look into that. That's like the SSL. So yeah, so like what this is basically is secure browsing for your visitors. So what the SSL certificate represents, is that it encrypts data when someone comes onto your site and inputs personal information or data, so that way hackers can't get into their details and steal information. So I've never used it in this format by adding it onto my domain, but potentially it could help. So you can see here, you see like how it says connection is secure, and that's because it's HTTPS, which stands for secure. But if it wasn't, then you'd find like it would be, and that's the certificate there, that the SSL certificate. But on some sites you see that it's HTTP, and that's not secure. So usually it will redirect on a big site like this, but we'll take a look and see what it does. Yeah, it's just going to redirect. So anyway, we'll go ahead with that. So like I said, don't purchase anything else, just keep it simple. And we're just going to go straight ahead and purchase this domain. And you can get promo codes for this stuff, but because of how cheap it is, I don't think you'll need one. So once you've got this, we're just going to check out with PayPal. So this is all you would need to do. You just double check those details and whatever else, and we'll just approve that payment quickly. So after that's gone through, it's going to bring you to a page like this, and then you're going to get an email which will basically give you all the details. You can see here, that's my payment method, and you'll get an email with all the references and whatever else. So the next thing we're going to do is actually set up the hosting for this. So I use hostgator.com. It's very simple to set up. All you would do is click get started. It's as cheap as $2.75 a month, and you get unlimited hosting. If you're going to go for any of the plans, make sure you pick the baby plan. Do not pick this. It's only for one domain, so that means one website. This is unlimited for just $3.95. So you can see that's the cheapest option, but this is the one I'm on. It's been nothing but brilliant. You get the free SSL certificate. So you see, like any stupid people would have just purchased it here when you get it for free with your hosting. So that's a great sort of deal there. Now the business plan, you don't need that, so don't worry about it. Just simply stick to this, and it's the baby plan. So you can basically have as many websites as you want, like thousands and thousands and thousands, all hosted on this for not free, but for your $3.95. So you just click buy now, go through the motions and sign up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just log into my cPanel in HostGator. So once you're actually signed up, you'll come to a page like this. Okay, so when you're here, the next thing you're going to need to do is basically you're going to need to merge this. So this is what almost like the cloud service that houses your domain. So your domain is just the www. The name, yeah, this thing here, test for run blog. That's your domain. But you need to get that on the internet, because if you search for that right now, test for, what was it called? Test. Let me just copy it. If you search that, it's just going to come up with Namecheap, say that they own it or whatever. See, so it's not even coming up with anything at the moment. So it comes up with nothing, yeah. So what you need is to get this on the internet. So right now it's just nothing, like it just, you know, it doesn't exist on the internet. So what we need to do is make it do that. So what we're going to do is, if you come down here, you can see this thing called primary name server. So this is once you get into your cPanel. Now, if you don't get this, then you can also, basically, you'll receive an email from HostGator once you sign up. I'm not supposed to be on Gmail. I use this to block me, keep me productive during the day. So let's just have a look. I'm going to go back to Gmail. So during the day, I always have that on. So if we go HostGator, basically the first ever HostGator message I may have, let's have a look. HostGator, yeah, let's have a look here. Yeah, so as you can see, when you sign up, they also send you this. So this will basically give you the same code. Look, this code here, you can see 8421. It's going to be that same one over here. Let's have a look. There we go, 8421. You can see it's exactly the same thing. Okay, so you can either do it from the email or you can do it from here. I choose to do it from here. You can do it from the email if you like. Now, the idea of this is we're going to use that code to integrate your domain service with your hosting. Okay, so what we're going to do is basically go down to the domain here. We're going to click manage. Okay, so for those who don't know, you click domain list and then you find your domain and you click manage. You want to click manage. Okay, and then once you get to that, you're going to come to this point here. So it's got domain and whatever else. It's got all this information. You don't need to worry about all the fancy stuff. Okay, don't confuse yourself. Just go down to name servers, and you can see it's under the domain tab, name servers, and then you click custom DNS. Okay, so this is, now we're going to put in the hosting domain name server. Okay, so what we're going to do is primary, we're going to copy that code there. Okay, and then we're going to get the secondary as well. And this is what we're going to do. Okay, and then click that. Now, you may need to wait up to 48 hours for this actually to take effect. Okay, so if you don't see anything happen in the immediate future, don't panic. It's not the end of the world. It still will work. You just have to give it time. Okay, so you can see here they've sent me a summary of my purchase and the information and the thank you. And then you've got here also the PayPal transaction as well. Okay, so once we've done this, now we're back on this dashboard. So this is the user interface for HostGator. So this is the control panel. Now it's really simple to use, which is why I like it specifically. Okay, so the next thing we're going to want to do is actually add the domain onto this HostGator. So right now we've integrated it, but it doesn't yet know that it's actually added on. Okay, so what we're going to do is add domains just over here, and if you can't find that, you can just search it in the top. Okay, and then we're going to just place in our domain. Okay, so I'm just going to go back and get the actual name again, because that was a bit hard to remember. Where is it again? On this page. Yeah, there we go. So now, when you put this into HostGator, do not add the www or anything like that. Put it exactly as I'm doing it. So don't add www to it or anything like that. Okay, and then click away. As soon as you click away, it puts all the relevant information in the fields. Then click add domain. Okay, so once you've done that, it's now going to give you the option to create a WordPress website. So click onto that, and that's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to make it a WordPress site. Okay, so then you select your domain from down here. So what we're going to do is test for run blog, and then just click next. Okay, now this is going to be the title of your blog. Do not get hung up on this, just call it test for run blog or whatever the site was called. This just keep as admin. This will be the admin to log into the site. You just want to keep it as admin, and then first name Leon, if I can spell my own name, and surname Angus, and then admin email Leon Angus. Okay, automatically create a new database. Yes, leave that ticked, and leave terms of service ticked as well. So the next thing we're going to do is install. So we're going to just let that install. Okay, so that's going to do its thing, and then these are all the details for the actual specific website. So this will be how you log into the site. Okay, so what we want to do is just keep this safe. So you want to just keep like a note for this, yeah. So let me just see if it pastes properly. That yeah, that's it. So then just keep it for like test for runblog.com login details or whatever, however you want to do it. Okay, and just keep it safe. You can use Evernote, I use that, or use Notes, whatever. Okay, so once you've done that, you've now got the details. You can click log in. Now it's going to probably not allow us to find it yet, so it's still like conjuring everything up. So the next thing we've got to do is just wait. We've got to wait until this actually now. So as I said, it can take up to 48 hours before everything takes place. So the next thing you're going to do is just wait it out. So once you've done that, the next thing is you're going to type your site. So just say, for example, we're using the site that I had up, which was test for run blog or whatever it was. You would basically type that site, and then you would do /WP and then -admin. Okay, so that's what you would do. As you can see here, this is what I've done. Now this is another site that I've actually been working on like a while back and never completed. So you can see here that I've got that site, and then I've got /WP-admin. So when you do that and you click enter, it will bring you to the login page. So this will be WordPress admin. So this note is telling it that you want to log in. So can you see that? Log in, yeah? Okay, so what we want to do is just going to prompt you with the information. So that's where you'll input this into the username, and then that will be your password. So this will be that, and then WP admin, and that will be your login. So that will take you to the login. This, if you click the normal thing, it would just take you to the website. So if you click just bloody hell. Yeah, so if you click just this, then it will take you to the website, and if you put that in the /, then it will take you to the actual login page. And this is called a permalink, guys. So anything after a / is called a permalink. Okay, so you know when you see a site and it's got like this, and then it will say test page or whatever, that's called a permalink. But we'll go through in detail with that in the last section of this video. Okay, so once you're inside, you're going to be brought to this semi-what confusing dashboard. So this is the user interface of WordPress. Now yours may look a little bit different if you've got the new WordPress 5.0.3. So they're using a new user interface. It's relatively similar, but if you see it's quite different and you're an old user or anything like that, there is a way of restoring it to the classical look like this, which is just by adding a plugin. So anyway, so the next thing what we need to do is then install some plugins. Okay, so when you come along here on the left hand side, you've got all of the actual main options. So these are the different categories of different functionalities of your website. So this is things like if you want to upload mass media to your site. So if you wanted to later use that media inside of your posts, you wouldn't have to keep uploading it. It will already be housed on your website. You've got the marketplace. This is where you can buy different themes for your website, and also if you have any type of plugins or anything you'd like to purchase, you can also find that there. And you can download some free ones. There's like thousands of free stuff as well. And then you've got plugins here and users. So these are how many admins you'd like for it. You might have an editor that you're going to be working with and you want them to have access as well, so you can also grant that permission. And then this is like a plugin, so you see some stuff I've got plugins here, and sometimes plugins pop up with their own menus that give you their own dashboard and mini menus here. So what we're going to do, first things first, instead of actually going to plugins, we're going to go to a theme. So we're going to go to appearance and themes, okay? And what you want to do is to, first of all, establish the theme. So I'm actually using a theme called Divi on this website. So the way this works is like this. So you have like the option of premium themes, WordPress themes, and then you can upload a theme. So if you bought a theme somewhere else, you could come and upload it. But say for example, if I was a new person and I just had this sitting here like this, I could potentially come into here and then click add new theme. So when you click that, it's going to take you to a marketplace. So then it will give you the option of going down. Now be careful with some of the demos because they don't look exactly the same when you download them. So they look okay on the front end, but then when you download them, they're not all that, and that's just the downfall. Now if I could recommend any free theme for a blogger to start off, I definitely 100% would recommend GeneratePress. So that's a free theme, and this is the free theme that I was using first of all. And I think they've actually got a demo service on the actual site as well. So this is GeneratePress. Let's have a look if you can actually use it. So this is the premium. I wouldn't use that, just use the basic one. And they don't have a demo, so you can't see it. Maybe let's have a look. Site library, let's have a look at that. And this is an absolute brilliant theme for a free page builder. So yeah, I think these are the premium features from what I believe. Yeah, so the basic one, you can watch the video and see it, but it's just a really good basic theme. See, this is it here. So I know that. Yeah, that's kind of how it looks. Yeah, that's exactly. So you can get like a nice blog going like that. You know, it's very bloggy and whatever else. So I won't go through all of that at the moment. So that's the idea. I definitely 100% would say go with this if you're starting out. It's a really nice, clean theme. And it's good, efficient, it works good as well, which is really important that it also integrates well with plugins. So I would definitely go for that as a newbie starting out. Okay, so once you've got that, what you would do is basically, I'm going to take you through and actually show you how to download it, upload it and everything. So what we would do is basically click install and then download. Okay, so what we're going to click is download. Then you can just come over to here. Instead of going to this marketplace, go up to the top and you'll see add themes, upload theme. Click upload and then just drag it there, or you could just click choose and find it. So if you clicked choose, you could obviously find it in downloads and it's just right there, yeah. Depending on whether you're on, obviously, you know, Mac, iOS, or using Windows. So once you've done that, you just click install and then you must click activate as well, okay? So it'll give you a live preview. I've never used this option before, but probably just shows you how it looks and whatever else. So let's just take a look. Yeah, this is the theme. So you can see here, this is kind of how it would look. Now, this is showing you all the other stuff because I've already got content on the site. But this is the kind of look. So you can see it's really clean. It's just nice and clean. And it allows you to, you know, you can really build this out. For those of you who are not as creative, you may look at it and think it looks like a pile of crap. But you could, this is a good template, so you can really build this up. Okay, so that's that. So once you've installed your theme, you then want to activate the theme. So do not forget to activate the theme. If you don't do that, you won't see it, okay? So when we go to themes over here again, we'll be able to see that, and it will be over there. So you can see GeneratePress, and then you would click activate if you haven't still done that. Okay, so I don't personally want this on my blog, so I'm just going to delete it. So once you've got that, now the next thing you want to do is install your plugins. So we're going to go back to this menu on the left hand side, as you can see here. Then we're going to go to add new. Okay, now there's a few plugins that you're going to need. So the way of finding these plugins, again, you have the option of uploading if you obviously already have third-party plugins that you'd like to install. This is the new WordPress interface called Gutenberg. So it's giving me the option to upload it onto this site. I personally don't like it at the moment. This is the classic editor, which is the one I'm currently using. So like I said, if you've got the actual new Gutenberg and you wanted to revert back to the classic editor, then you could do so by just clicking install on this classic editor option. Okay, so there's many different plugins, and you can see more about these plugins by just clicking more details. Sometimes you can see screenshots, reviews, and all different information about them. So you can see a description here, and then you can also see screenshots and whatever else, and the also user ratings of exactly how people have reviewed this service or product. Okay, so that's for you to go and test and figure out. So if we're looking for plugins, the plugins that you will need I've listed below this video in the description box. But you can see here, this I would recommend Classic Editor if you're on the new editor. That's optional, you don't need that, so just take that out. That's an optional feature. So what we're going to do is Google Analytics by MonsterInsights. You're going to need that. So you're going to need to set up Google Analytics. Okay, so that's just type Google Analytics here, and then you click down here, and then you're going to want to set that up. Okay, and once you've set that up, you can join it to your website, so you can integrate your site to this Google Analytics, and it will show you how much traffic you're getting on your site and all this different information that can be quite helpful to you. Okay, so if you want a full tutorial on how to set up Google Analytics, then I can do so, but I wouldn't include it inside of this video specifically. But it gives you all of the relevant information, like how many people are attending your site on mobile, tablet, like all of the different things, keywords, bounce rates, session times, like everything you can possibly imagine and more is on this site. Okay, so that's what you want to do. So once we've got that, the next thing we're going to do is add that in. So we're going to say that Google Analytics. Okay, so you'll see once you press enter, you'll see it pop up. So I personally use this one. This is the one I go for. You can test out some of the others and see if they work better for you, but like I said, I've listed the plugins below this video, and it's there for you to install. So you just want to basically copy all of these and just go and paste it in. So that's what you'll do, and it's the same thing. Once you download the plugin, you then want to install the plugin. You want to activate the plugin. So if we say insert headers and footers, you want to install it, and then you want to activate it. Now I'm going to explain exactly what each plugin is for. So Google Analytics is to allow you to see all of the data analytics that I just showed you on the previous tab. Okay, and then insert headers and footers. So this is going to be for if you want to insert any piece of code onto your site. Now if you're watching this video, you're probably not a coder or developer, so you're not going to understand code to an advanced level. So for that purpose, it allows you to integrate third-party information and softwares and services with your website by installing like the HTTP code and all of that hashtag and question mark stuff all onto your site in a simple format without you having to faff around with stuff. So for example, once you get a bit more advanced and you might want a tracking pixel, just say for example you want to monitor the behavior on your site. If you're running an advert and if people came to your site, then you'll be able to install that. Or if you wanted to create like a special looking logo or something, you'll be able to install that by using this stuff. Now this is W3 Total Cache Cake. I can't remember if you pronounce it cache cake, but what this does is clear the cache on your site. So obviously if there's any blocked up data or anything like that, you've made some new changes or tweaks to your site, it will clear everything and allow it to run smoothly. Okay, so you want that on there. Then you've got really simple SSL, so that's the purpose of the plugin. Of the security of the site. So you can see here that my site's currently not secure. So one thing I'd be able to do is if I go to the settings in general, what I would want to do, so this is after you've installed your plugins, you want your site, so you can see WordPress address, so you can see here my site is http://incomesTsunami.com. so my site is not actually www. It doesn't have that. Now I recommend not having a W dot because it's easier for people to just type in your name like incomesTsunami.com, and it's just easier than just leaving it out, keeping it as short as possible. So you can see it's only HTTP, not S. So what I would want to do is basically install the SSL plugin and then install the certificate onto the site. So I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so I haven't actually done this in a while, so it'd be quite amusing of how I get stuck with this. So really simple SSL. So let's have a look. That's it. So we're going to install that, and then we're going to activate that. Okay, so this is the way you would be installing any of your plugins on the website. Okay, so let's have a look. And settings. Yeah, so it's not enabled yet. Yeah, so go ahead. So with HostGator, you already get this stuff for free. So it's saying the certificate was detected. That's because I use HostGator for my hosting. So that's all you do. Once that's done, I'm not sure what this is. Not detected on the front page. Yeah, I'm not sure on that. But so this is that sorted. Okay, so that's your SSL certificate. So let's just have a look. HTTP semicolon / incomesTsunami.com. It should, let me take out the S. It should redirect to the TTPS instead of the TTP. So as you can see, it did. It went to secure, and look, connection is secure. So now this helps ranking. If you don't have this installed, like, you must install this. And the reason being, and you can see the certificate here. So this is the site. It's now encrypted, so the hackers can't see data like personal and sensitive information from any of the users on your website. Okay, so you can now see the website actually logged me out, and it's now logging me into the secure website. Okay, so we're just going to make sure that that's also set in our general configuration as well. So we want to make sure that that's under there. So you can see now that's changed to HTTPS. Okay, now make sure that when you actually set up your Google Analytics, that you put in the exact same thing. Do not set up analytics different to this. It must be the exact same. Otherwise, it's going to read it as two different sites with the redirect. Okay, so don't have it as HTTP, just have it as HTTPS with the semicolon / incomesTsunami.com or whatever your site is called. Okay, so once we've done that, we're then going to go and install the rest of the plugins. So that's Yoast SEO. So this is a really important plugin. So once you do that, you do it the same way. Go to plugins, add new, and then you would type in Yoast into the search box just up here. You would type Yoast and then SEO, and you'll see the plugin pop up. Let's just take a look at that. Okay, so I've already installed it. And then once you come to the plugin, you don't need to do anything once you activate it, but I'll show you how it works. So when you do a post, it will give you a score over here to tell you of how well optimized your post is. Now, you don't need to follow that information as such. So if I were to click, let's have a look, because I think I've got mine as pages here. So you can do pages or posts, by the way. Don't get hung up on whether to do a post or a page. If you're going to make your website all about posts, then do that. If you're going to do pages, do that. For a blog, I would stick to posts because you're posting. Okay, so you can do categories, tags, and all of that. I think you can still do that even on pages, but just stick to posting for a blog, and then keep your pages as like the about me section, etc., etc. Now, there's some mandatory pages you want to get up first when you're writing your blog. So you want to first of all have an about me page. Okay, you want to have a contact page now, and also there was a privacy policy. You also want that. So I don't even think I've got that on this site because this site isn't even live yet. Okay, but if you're to do the contact page whilst we're here, all you want to do for that, you can just WordPress gives you like a WP Forms page. So you can see here, this has this WP Forms. You can just install that. So this is actually the new interface, as you can see. So I thought I was on the old one here, so it's actually the new one. And all you would do is just, I don't even know how to use this new interface, but I'll show you how to install the form. We should be able to find it just here somewhere. It's completely changed. Okay, so you maybe have to play around with this for a second, but what you would want to do is basically install the WP form on here. It's quite simple. You can, I think you can even do it with the code. So you can do okay, yeah, so just if you click WP Forms, I think it's already installed. If it isn't, just go and add it in a plugin. But you can do like a simple contact form and just click Create Form. And it'll give you an insight. So that's the exact one I use on all of my websites. And embed. So it gives you a video tutorial on how to embed this. But I've just clicked Save. And let's go back to the site. Okay, so once you've done that, you get the code, and then you go to the page that you want to put the code into, and then just say, for example, let's go back to the contact page because that's where it was. Okay, it's just given a different page, but yeah. So for example, you would find the back end. Let's have a look. Do not use this one. Update, accept discussion, allow comment. Let's have a look. That's the permalink. So they've made it a lot easier to actually write content. Like it actually gives you how it's supposed to. So you can see the Yoast plugin right at the bottom here as well. And what this does is, you know, when you Google search something, the only thing you want to use this for is basically just writing this out and getting this correct. So this is your title. So it will show you here. You can see up here. You can write anything. Yeah, like so that will be like what pops up when someone searches something on Google. Like whatever. So this stuff, that's what this is. So that is what you should be using the site for. That helps you with ranking. So you can see here it's asking you to provide, and it will basically, you know, ask you for your keyword. So it's good for also using your focus keyword. So you put your keyword that you're trying to write for here, test keyword. Okay, and it will basically, yeah, it will just basically tell you whether you've inserted the keyword or not. To get yourself more familiar with this stuff, you need to come and use it. But for this, usually you'll be able to just add it to the, okay, code editor, that's what it is, sorry. And then you paste that code, okay? So that's the code for the form, yeah? And then when you come back down here, you go to Visual Editor, and it should have added it in. Let's just preview it. It's completely revamped the whole user interface to what I'm used to. But that should have added the form in there. Okay, so it still hasn't added it. Not sure quite why. But that is what you would do. You just basically come in. You can mess around with it a bit more when you have time. I'm currently on a video, so let's see, edit as HTML. Yeah, so you would come in and do that, or I'll try and do it on the contacts page and just see if I can do it for you. Let's just have a look. So we're just going to click edit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to code editor. Okay. So it says classic. I'm not sure what that's meant to mean. And let's see if it adds it in. but just by messing around with it, you'll be able to get it in. So as you can see, that's how the form will look, okay? And that's just a contact page. So that will be your contact page done, like if you do that, okay? This site was really cool, by the way. This was a site I was building. It was really, really good. I haven't yet finished it though. It's still got lots of, you can see there. So I've still got lots of stuff. This was the site I was going to integrate with my YouTube channel. Not for this video. So anyway, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to install Updraft Plus. Now what this does is it automatically backs up your site. So this was one of the things that messed me up in the early days, and the reason is you would go to the same thing, so it's plugins, add new, and then you would go over to the search box and type it in. I think I've already installed it, or yeah, I have. And then what you want to do is once you've installed and activated this plugin, you want to click settings. So in the early days this messed me up, and the reason why is I lost all of my whole site because of not saving it. Okay, so this automatically saves your site like every few hours. You can set it to how you want. So you can see here, these are all the saves. You can set it to how many you want it to keep in the vault, and you can also integrate it with a third-party vault as well. So if you have like Dropbox or something like that, you can log into Google Drive or whatever, and you know it will save it onto that. So what I tend to do is, this is doing it monthly. You do not want to do that. That's terrible. So you want to do it every 4 hours. So that's what I do. Okay. And then you want it to I only retain like 2 backups. You can do like 4 depending on your storage, or you can do more. Okay, I do 2, so it will give me like as far as 8 hours. But if you wanted further back, then you could obviously do like, you know, whatever, and multiply that by the amount of hours, and it will give you the answer. Okay, so I do 2 usually, and then you just go down, and click save. So this will automatically back up your site. So this is on auto backup every 4 hours now. I don't have to mess around with it. If anything were to happen, I'd be able to get my whole website from within the last wherever else, and you can see the next scheduled backup, etc., so on and so forth. Okay, so what we're going to do is go back up to plugins, and then I've got 2 optional plugins, or 3, but you know, you could go back to the classic editor. I mean, once messing around with the new editor, you'll be able to get used to it anyway. Now, and then there's the other 2 now. These are specifically to bloggers. Now, what this is, Pretty Links, is basically inside of like an article, for example, you've got these things called hyperlinks, yeah? So let's just, what is a link? I'm just going to go with anything that pops up, okay? So inside of an article, you've got something called hyperlinks. So on each specific page, you can see these things are blue, and you can click them. Like automatically, you know, from, you know, having a basic knowledge of the internet, that you can click these and go somewhere else. These are called hyperlinks. So what this allows you to do is basically click and go to wherever they would like to send you. So obviously if they're sending you here, it sends you to a different part of the page, or they could send you through to another site completely through that link. Okay, so these are all hyperlinks. Now, on a website, Google is like a big spider. So that's the way that it's been taught to me, and that's the way I'll show you or teach you. So it's like a big spider, and your site and everything that's linking to your site is like the web, and Google needs to crawl through that. So when you actually have links going to places, there's something called link juice. So it's how much like trust and rapport and ranking power that Google's giving you. So Google's bot, like the robot, will come through, scan your whole site, go through all of these links, and if you got like some type of authority or whatever else, it can pass that authority on to wherever this link goes. Now, when you're linking to affiliate products, you're not doing it for the purpose of Google trying to rank you. When you're just doing like normal links to help your audience with, just say for example, like this is like a whatever, this guy's linking to something that's going to be beneficial to us, you want it to do that, because Google wants your website to look as trustworthy as possible and as authentic as possible. So it being authentic would have links out. So Google will crawl that, and you know, you will be passing on a bit of link juice to their sites, but so be it. So that's how the web builds out, and that's how the whole of the internet runs. Okay, But when you're doing it to affiliate products, you don't want the link juice to go out. So for that purpose, you don't want that to obviously leave a gap in your site. You would install the plugin called nofollow. Okay, so that was the one that I was mentioning here, ultimate no follow. And then pretty links was the same thing, sorry. So what that is pretty links allows you to track these links. So for example, if you had this link on your site, you might want to know, okay, how many times did people click this one to that one? So pretty links will allow you to track that. So you'll be able to see 2 clicks, how many impressions it has, which means how many people had this on the page in front of them. They might have not viewed it and actually gone over it like this, but they might have just seen it like on the actual whole page. So these will all get impressions right now whilst they're on the page in front of me, although I'm not specifically focused on one. To get a view on it, I'll have to go like around this area. Okay, so impressions are describing when someone just it's placed in front of them on the screen, and then a view is specifically when they're hovering over it or around it. And then obviously a click is a click, and that will be represented as a click through rate, which is also aka known as a CTR in blogging term. Okay, so once you've got that, you can obviously track the links. Now, what the no follow does is it allows you to basically select no follow on your affiliate links. So if you've got like an affiliate link in your site and you're linking to like to try and get a sale on Amazon or something like that, then it will give you an option to no follow the link. So I'm actually going to show you how to do that. So we're going to go on ultimate no follow. We're going to go to add new plugin because this is a new plugin. We don't want to see the existing ones. Okay, and then ultimate no follow. Once that comes up, then we're going to install that and then we're going to activate that. Now, although I'm telling you to install these plugins, and you might see all of these cool plugins, like ones that do all different things. I'm talking like there's thousands and thousands and thousands. I don't even know. I probably think it's into the hundreds of thousands of plugins. Although there's all of that opportunity, you can only use around 20. Now, why? Why can you only use 20? The reason for that is because your site starts to become really slow and laggy, and it just basically hurts your user experience. And also Google can de-rank you if your site is really slow. Okay, so you want your site to be like quite fast. So that's really important. And when you do that, you basically want your site to be as fast as possible whilst having as much functionality as possible. So I'm already at 18 plugins, 16 are active. So inactive ones are irrelevant. It's just the active plugins that are affecting your site. So inactive, like I would delete it just in case it might be still taking up some type of data, or obviously it will be taking up space. So just delete it if you're not using it. But yeah, so you can see, so ultimate no follow. So that's installed now. Yeah, if we were to go down here. So once we go onto like a page, for example, or a post or whatever, if we were to create a new post and we click edit, it will give us the option of no following a link. So you can create a hyperlink inside of your article. So say, for example, I was going to type something. So let's see, I haven't used this, like I said. So hello. Okay, so it's trying to bring up the Divi WordPress builder, the Divi builder. So it's asking me, do I want to, I don't want to use Divi right now, but it may force me to use it. Let me just see. Switch to draft. Let me see if I can, it's not allowing me. Okay, so I haven't used even the Divi builder in a while, but I'm gonna go on to it because I wanted to give you like a basic example without this fancy software. Let's have a look. So let's just see if we can edit a page normally without Divi. If it takes us onto it, so be it. But it's still. Okay, so you can see here, this is a link. Sorry, this is the writing. So what I'm going to want to do is create a hyperlink with this. So I'm not quite sure how it works on this new software again. So this is the permalink, this is the /. So you can see /hello there. Oh yeah, one other tip whilst we're on this, you see all of this stuff, index PHP, you don't want that. Like if someone goes to your site, you don't want / index on every single page. So the way of taking that away is by going to settings, general, we'll just get that out of the way whilst I remember that. And we'll basically go to, it should be under permalink. Let's have a look. It usually is on the permalink. I thought permalink was on this page. Let's have a look. Dashboard. Writing. Permalinks. Sorry, that would help. So permalinks. Okay, not sure why it's not working, but what it is basically when you go to that, usually it will give you an option to remove all of that index stuff and just keep it as that. So you'll be able to delete that, and whatever new page you create, it will just have / like example / best this or / whatever the keyword is, and you won't have all of that extra stuff. Okay, so for the example purposes, I've decided to revert back to the old style just because it's a lot easier and more efficient to use for me at the moment. But yeah, so what we're going to do is just create a new page, and I'll show you exactly how to actually go about creating hyperlinks. So if we were to create a new post, we could call it whatever we want. So at the beginning, it's just blank, it's a template. So we're going to call it test page. So this would be like the /, so like / whatever it is. Okay. Now, once you've done that, you're going to click save a draft, and this is how you create a page. Don't click publish because you don't want it to go live on your site as just this, so you want it to obviously be a test page. So you can see here it says test page. If you wanted to share it, you could obviously copy that link and share it. Now also you can get a short link for that, and like I said, you want to get rid of all of that. So that's by going to general and then permalinks, settings, permalink, and getting rid of all that in between that crap there. Okay, so the way we create a hyperlink on the old style is very simple because it's right there. So we'll click test link as part of this video. Okay, so if I said test link, link, if I wanted to make that a hyperlink, you just click that over here. So I highlighted it, click that, and then you want to, put the place you want to link it to. So I could do youtube.com. Now, the idea of having the no follow, if this was an affiliate link, I might go to here and then click, look, no follow. Okay, add no follow, and then you click add link. That's it. Okay, so let's have a look. Did it add it in? Yeah, so www.youtube.com, just for example purpose. Add link. Yeah, so that's it. So that's now a hyperlink. So if I were to click preview, it should pop up with that and link to YouTube, but it won't allow the Google bot to crawl it and go through, so you won't lose link juice for that. Okay, so you can see here it takes me directly to YouTube. Okay, so that's just an example there. Okay, now that's for that purpose, and this is the same way that you would construct or compose your pages on your site. So once you've done this, it will have obviously your keyword. Then you would use the Yoast SEO plugin to come down and put in your keyword. So if you were putting in test page, that was your keyword you wanted to target, you'd put that. Then you would write a snippet. You'd write this, describing, making it very enticing for people to click. Maybe you say the ultimate if test page on WordPress this year, like however you want it. It's telling you to make it longer. Of 2019 or something. So then it goes green. It's telling you it's long enough. Okay, and then also you want to be careful with your titles here. This will be the title of your page. Now you don't want this more than 60 characters at most, okay, because what happens is Google truncates your titles. So for example, if we do like the Google search again, when we come to results, you see like this, how long that is. If it's longer than 60 characters, like longer than 60, it will just disappear and it will just show like, let's just see, long titles. So yeah, you see this? So it's got like dot dot dot. You can't even see it. So like, be careful and conscious of that. 60 characters. I think it's either 57 or 60. Just go and check. But yeah, you don't want it longer than that. Okay. And when you come over here, so this is how you would write your blog post. So you write your post. The best way to learn this stuff, guys, is just to get stuck involved. Okay, just get stuck in and learn it. Okay, start doing it. So you come in, you write here. This is where you could write. So this is if you was doing a post, and this is called back-end editing. If you wanted to do it on the front end, like with something like a Divi editor or whatever, you wanted to get fancy with all that stuff, then you could do it with this, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So if you are doing it with Divi, let's have a look. Yeah, so you would use the visual editor, and this is called front-end editing now. So you'll be able to, you know, do things and drag and drop and all that stuff with something like this, but you'll be using the basic generate press, so you won't have all of this when you're doing it. But this is like the front end, so you can write stuff and do the same stuff and add sections and all of that. But this is a complete different software and a complete different ball game. Okay, for the basics of what you're going to be doing, you're just going to be coming in and writing a blog post like this and then hitting publish. But you want to make sure that this description's all up to scratch. So you want to make sure the slug is also up to scratch. So that's this bit down here, which pops up, you know, on Google. This should be very familiar with you, because anytime you look on Google, you see this stuff. This won't be here because you'd have deleted that in the permalink section, and you'll just have the slug, which will have your keyword like test page or whatever it is. Yeah. Okay, so you just want it simple, just like that, like test page, whatever the keyword is. And then this one thing was so confusing to me until I found this test page. So what this is, the idea of the title and the idea of the meta description and everything, you see like this here. So it's telling me it's not long enough. You see it's orange, yeah? Until I found this test page. Trust me until you know this one thing, then you are not doing it right. And you can't go too long with this. So that's just like perfect, yeah? Not right like that, it would be right. So this is all good, it's all green, so that I would leave that. And then obviously your focus keyword, sometimes it's going to show you like that it's not in there enough. Don't worry about that. Like if it says that, it's like, you know, it will give you sometimes the wrong indications. Do not use this for SEO. Furthermore, this is not an SEO training, so I'll be, you know, doing more videos and showing you how I'm actually doing SEO. Not actually giving you a tutorial, but just showing you how I do it, because I've established page 1, 0 ranking, snippets, all of that in the minimal time that I've been involved with SEO. But yeah, for this purpose of this video, do not worry about that. So all you're going to be doing is this, that, and whatever else. If you want to learn SEO, you know, there's a separate training there. So basically, if we can see on the right, you can see if you want to publish it immediately. If you want to schedule this for future times, then you can do that. You can schedule it for like later on in this year. Click OK. When you click publish, it won't publish or release it on your site until then. Now, you can also set categories. So you can add a category and put like lots of different posts into a category. This is where you will do that. And obviously you've got tags here. Now, once you've done that, these are your posts. It's quite simple. Like, you see, you can either do it in pages or posts. I do it in posts, like for most of my sites, but for this one, I ended up doing it on pages. I don't know why. I usually keep my pages as just the about me, the contact page, and the privacy policy. Okay, so that's what I'd recommend, and then do the rest as just posts. Okay, so yeah, basically, once you've got all of that, you can then organize all of your menus. So if you were to go over here to the left menu and then click menus, okay, this will allow you to organize how your site looks. So you can see here, these are all like the different things. Like, so you can, if you were to drag this, it will go like as a drop down on your site. So you see, like if I click that and click save menu, when you go onto the site, start here will drop down and it will have about me there. So you can do that, or you could have like several of them underneath, you see, or you could have that and then have that as a drop down and that put that underneath, but it needs to be to the right for it to be in the drop down. Otherwise this will be part of the drop down inside of this one here. So I hope that makes sense. Just mess around with it and keep like another tab open, just duplicate it and just basically have like one with your site open so you can kind of test it, and then you'll basically look at the example here and then you'll test it. So for example, look, if I've done like about underneath this section, I'll show you. So click save menu, and then if I were to restart that, you'll be able to see what this does. I'll show you here. See that? So it's just created it in the drop down. Look, you can see it's got the arrow there, and underneath that arrow, if it works properly, which it doesn't want to for some reason, underneath that drop down, the about will be there. Like for example, if I remove the you can see it's a sub item. If I remove it and click save and then refresh this page, you'll see that disappear. So you get the gist of what this does. Yeah, so it's back over here again. Okay, so the last thing you want to be doing is setting up your site with Google Search Console. So you can just type that into actual Google, it will pop up, and then you'll just sign up here. You click start now. It will ask you your site. Remember, to avoid making mistakes, just basically when you input your site, what you want to do. So this is giving me my site and whatever else. You can add a site here, and what you want to do is basically settings general, and just copy the exact site name. So just copy that and then put that in there. Put that in there and click continue, and then basically it will allow you to. That's it. So it will allow you to verify it. So what it's going to want you to do is basically it's going to run you through it wants you to upload this file onto the site. Okay, so you can either do that by integrating the code, like when I was showing you that insert footers and headers, or you can just download this. So you would download this and then you would upload this to the site. So let's upload this. Let's have a look. Yeah, so there's just somewhere on the site you upload it. And once you've done that, you come back here, you click verify, then it gives you all of this data basically. Okay, and what it is this will then now put your website live on Google, so someone can, you know, sort of search for a word if you're ranking for that word, test page, and you'll be able to see it. And the way you can test if it's worked is when you put site and then semicolon, and then you'll put your site. So just say income tsunami, you'll do that .com, and you'll test, and then it will bring up all the possible pages. So you can see that it's actually popping up. That means that it's on Google, so it's actually on the platform. If I had not integrated that, then it wouldn't pop up. But well, it could pop up because this one's actually popping up without the integration, and the reason is because it's been on the internet for quite some time. So Google will eventually find your site anyway, but this is force indexing it, so it's forcing Google to actually commit to those processes. Okay, and that's about it. So let's have a look what else we had in there. Setting up a sitemap. So all the sitemap is basically there's a way of doing that. You can simply just go to any YouTube video, and it's just basically uploading one file, and then it allows your website to have a sitemap so Google can understand your site better. If you don't have it, it doesn't really matter on that level. It's you know, recommended to have it, but if you don't, then that's it. And this video is dragging on as it is. So I hope that informed you on exactly how to start a WordPress site and gives you a real insight to starting a blog. If you do need more information on this, then simply leave a comment below, and I'll get back to you, and I'll basically answer your questions. I hope you found this useful. If you did, make sure you leave a like, and if you are new to the channel, then make sure you subscribe and leave a comment if you've got any relevant comments as well. Thank you and take care. Have a good day.